Are you one of these spiritual people who struggle with the term God and you don't understand it, and you go to recovery meetings, or you go to church, or you attend spiritual things and you're like, what is this God thing anyway? Well, listen up as I read from Hope for Today, October 23rd, and I will share my own experience about it and hope to give you some clarity. The concept of God as we understand God was really hard to grasp. My family believed there was only one way to view God, and my parents used religion to keep me in line. I believed we went to the only true church. There was a list of do's and don'ts. I was afraid of God, viewing him as a severe judge waiting to punish us. By the end of my first recovery meeting, I was impressed with the acceptance that I had felt. There was no gossip or criticism, and people were friendly even though they had differing opinions and beliefs. No one tried to change others by telling them what to think or how to feel. And in this recovery program called Al-Anon, I felt for the first time as if I could be myself. I could relax and let a higher power of my understanding evolve. I realized that God of my parents, the God of my parents, had come in a very small box, not expansive enough for me. I fired that God and hired a new one, and my new higher power is much bigger than the old one. It doesn't live in a box. It lives in me and in those around me. It loves me, it cares for me, and accepts me just as I am, a work of art in progress. It is a God who wants the best for everyone. My higher power can turn tragedy into something positive, because out of my difficult childhood and experiences has come a God I no longer fear, but treasure and depend on. God has evolved for me. I'm sure God has evolved for you and will continue to evolve for me. I used to just have a concept of God. It was always in my mind. It was always in my head. And it was really difficult for me to navigate for many years. And then I used the word life instead of God. Life happens for me, not to me. God happens for me, not to me. And that was a really big shift when I started looking at life happening for my benefit. And sometimes it's really difficult. I know how difficult it is to struggle with the vicissitudes of life, as my teacher, one of my teachers calls it. You know, one of my best friends, her parents died in a tragic car accident suddenly years ago. My cousin died of a tragic jet ski accident when he was just a teenager. I have friends who've lost children to suicide, or drug overdose. I know there are tragedies in life. And what I do know is that we can use God as a way of comfort for us. But how can you do that when you don't see God? When you don't understand what God is? I remember sitting in meetings and sitting in church wondering, what the fuck are they talking about? You can't see God? I remember meeting this woman and says, God has forgiven me. I'm like, how do you know? And it was always such a weird thing for me until I started to experience God. And experience is not a thinking thing. You have to get out of your fucking head and into your loving heart. And how do you start with that? How do you do that? And that's what I have been asking myself for my entire life. And I'm finally getting to a point where I'm understanding that God is not a concept. I have to be willing to experience love. I have to be willing to experience grace. I have to be willing to open my heart and experience it. And it is an energy. It is a vibration. It is something that is otherworldly. It is also very subtle. It can be the subtle fragrance of a flower. To me, that's God. It can be the subtle gift of a friend. It can be the subtle gift of a hug when I am in pain. It can be in the subtle gift of somebody holding space for me instead of sending me their shit. You know, there is so much that there can be. And I also want to do a shout out about prayer and meditation. Prayer is when we ask for God's will for us and the power to carry it out. And it is the meditation piece that I spend a lot more time in, that I could spend a lot more time in. And meditation is just being present without thinking, without thinking. It is sitting in the quietness of my heart and allowing the presence of God, the energy of this indescribable compassion to come within me. And when I'm in stillness, I can hear the answers to my prayers. And you can too. And I would love to show you that way. I am going, one of the ways, and I'm going to be sharing a book study called The Open Focus Brain very soon. I want you to be on the lookout for it. And this book study is going to be about how to slow your brainwave patterns down so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about with meditation. There are many ways to meditation. This is just one of them. If you want to participate in this book study, say book study in the comments below, and then be on the lookout for a Zoom session or two. And I will also post a link below on the Open Focus Brain. If you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, put a comment below, put your notifications on, and share this with somebody who may need it, because we all do. We all need the presence of God in our lives. I love you.